Have you ever seen a woman fantasize over a nice guy? No? Then watch this video that I'm about to share with you, and your perspective on dating will change forever, man.
For a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that I guess is out there for me.
That's absolutely painful to watch. Let's take a look at where he messed up. Let's ignore first that she was toxic. She could have canceled the date in the first place. So I think this guy messed up not because he's not a model and he didn't get stood up because of that. He was the typical nice guy. Don't get me wrong, man. Niceness isn't the problem. The real problem is his behavior that makes him look like a nice guy and is perceived as super needy, insecure, and cringe almost. He positioned himself as this perfect boyfriend from date one, but he never met her. So, how can you try to please so hard, desperately trying to impress her and get everything perfect from date one? That doesn't make any sense. That essentially shows to her that he doesn't have any options, and that is super unattractive. If you never ditched the nice guy, your dating life would be absolutely miserable. And before I tell you how you can actually ditch the nice guy, I want to tell you why so many men struggle with ditching this nice guy, like being perceived as a super insecure and weak man. First of all, I think it's not your fault. We've been lied to as men. We've been told by radical feminism, sitcoms like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, or for the younger guys amongst you, Marvel, that we should treat every woman as a princess, that being assertive is evil, makes us bad men. And because of that, we have adopted the belief that us men are bad, masculinity is bad, and we really need to step up and treat every woman as a queen, but as from a place of us being a servant to the queen instead of a king to queen dynamic. And that is essentially messing up your dating life because she essentially sees you as her fan, not as an equal. And the second thing is, and this will sound a bit crazy, it's your parents, man. Most of us men, especially young men nowadays, you guys have experienced childhood trauma. Like your parents never gave you the love that you're looking for, that you needed as a child. They neglected you emotionally. They never told you you're good enough. They never told you that they were proud of the grades, not even the grades. They never told you that they are proud. They only told you that they are proud when you had good grades. And they essentially neglected your desperate need for love, for acceptance, for being validated. And some of you might not even have had a father. I was raised by my grandma. So my grandma always told me never stand out, never take any risks, make sure everyone likes you, etc., etc. And my dad wasn't really around either, you know? So I had this massive void that I tried to fill with women. And that's the problem with so many nice guys nowadays as well. They try to fill the inner void they have because of their childhood with women, and because they have adopted this belief that my parents didn't love me because I didn't try hard enough. So now I need to try even harder to appease women so that I get the love that my mom never gave me, without realizing that this is so counterproductive and actually messes up the entire dating life. So how do we actually fix this? Well, there's actually a concept that I teach my clients, which I call inspiration versus desperation. So I always ask my guys to analyze the motivation behind their action. Are you doing it because you lack self respect, or are you doing it out of self respect? So, for instance, if you are constantly agreeing with a woman, even though you are actually not agreeing with her, but you're too afraid to disagree with her, that's acting out of desperation because you lack the self respect to stand up for what you believe in. If you were to tell her, hey, yeah, it's a great opinion, but I disagree, then that shows that you respect yourself, and that is an action out of inspiration. And that is actually so much more attractive because women love a man who can stand up for himself. So I'm going to share with you a few things that you can do in order to become more attractive to women and ditch the nice guy of you. Stop apologizing for things you like. Don't try too hard to impress a woman if you barely know her. So stop love bombing her or trying to impress her with setting up the perfect date. This is really bad. Like, stop apologizing for things that weren't even your fault, man. Massive insecurity. Stop accepting bad behavior. If she disrespects you, man, then you have to walk away, or at least set a healthy boundary and say, hey, I don't like how you talk to me, or I don't like how you're trying to make fun of me in front of your friends. Because if you don't do this, especially when she's making fun of you in front of her friends, which is a test, if you don't set a clear boundary, you're essentially rewarding that bad behavior with more attention. And that is just like basic psychology. It's bad. So walk away when that happens.